The beautiful young wife of an ex-cop is shot dead in her sleep at their home in suburban Charleston, South Carolina.
Mila is found lying on the bed and is apparently dead due to a single gunshot wound to the back of the head.
But the hunt for the killer of Janel Hiers will find police waging a battle of wits with a sexually twisted and dangerously cunning chameleon.
He could blend in many different situations.
And investigators are desperate to get their man before other young women fall prey to his deadly charms.
He knows how to make them feel comfortable and to get them to warm up to him.
Dan and Janel Hiers had lived a quiet life with no children in the Charleston bedroom community of Goose Creek. Dan made his living in construction and security after leaving the police force, while Janel worked in the shoe department at Sears. And police can find no reason why anyone would have wanted to kill her.
No one in our investigation ever had a crossword to say about Mila. She was viewed as a hard worker. She held a job. She was trying to get an education and was a good wife.
But a spouse is almost always questioned by police in most murder investigations. And Mila's 32-year-old husband, Dan, is no exception, even though he used to be one of them, a well-liked cop who served as the school resource officer with the Charleston Police Department.
School resource officers are a liaison between the police department and the school. They are in the schools full-time to assist with anything that may arise and be there for the children as a role model.
Friends of the couple interviewed by police paint a picture of the tall, handsome former police officer as a good husband in a solid marriage.
A lot of people give the impression that both Dan and Mila were on good terms and had a happy, loving relationship.
And you can see why in this home video of the laughing, smiling couple celebrating Mila's 24th birthday months before her murder. But police uncover letters Mila wrote to her sister back in her native Brazil that tell a different story.
She would state things like Dan not showing her any attention, that she would have to initiate any type of physical contact with him, and that his friends would compliment her, but he would never compliment her.
Then investigators learned Dan had just recently done a sudden 180, surprising Mila with a romantic weekend getaway to Myrtle Beach in an effort to rekindle their love life.
During that time, Mila did call her sister and tell her that it was like a second honeymoon, that he was showing affection and that they were being intimate with each other.
But Mila's newfound happiness would be short-lived. Just 2 days after she and Dan arrive back home from Myrtle Beach, his mother makes a grim discovery when she visits their home.
Upon entering the bedroom, Mila can be seen laying in the bed, obviously dead from a gunshot wound.
It appears as if she was sleeping and was not awake at the time when she was murdered.
Patrol officers had already determined that there was no firearm in the bedroom or any other part of the residence.
There was no Dan either.
It was believed that Dan Hiers had fled.
And police would soon learn they were not looking for just one Dan Hiers, but two.
Dan Hiers was living a double life.
One as a former cop who was a role model for school children, the other as a sick sex fiend who police say preyed on them.
He visited escorts, he would frequent strip clubs, and in fact there were some allegations that he may have even dated some other females that were of high school age.
And even younger.
I was 8 and he was 32.
Next, the sordid secret life and crimes of Dan Hiers exposed. Surveillance video shows him using an ATM at a convenience store about 100 miles away 2 hours later for to rekindle their love life.
During that time, Mila did call her sister and tell her that it was like a second honeymoon, that he was showing affection and that they were being intimate with each other.
But Mila's newfound happiness would be short-lived. Just 2 days after she and Dan arrive back home from Myrtle Beach, his mother makes a grim discovery when she visits their home.
Upon entering the bedroom, Mila can be seen laying in the bed, obviously dead from a gunshot wound.
It appears as if she was sleeping and was not awake at the time when she was murdered.
Patrol officers had already determined that there was no...
...by police in most murder investigations. And Mila's 32-year-old husband, Dan, is no exception, even though he used to be one of them, a well-liked cop who served as the school resource officer with the Charleston Police Department.
School resource officers are liaison between the police department and the school. They are in the schools full-time to assist with anything that may arise and be there for the children as a role model.
Friends of the couple interviewed by police paint a picture of the tall, handsome former police officer as a good husband in a solid marriage.
A lot of people give the impression that both Dan and Mila were on good terms and had a happy, loving relationship.
And you can see why in this home video of the laughing, smiling couple celebrating Mila's 24th birthday months before her murder. But police uncover letters Mila wrote to her sister back in her native Brazil that tell a different story.
She would state things like Dan not showing her any attention, that she would have to initiate any type of physical contact with him, and that his friends would compliment her, but he would never compliment her.
Then investigators learned Dan had just recently done a sudden 180, surprising Mila with a romantic weekend getaway to Myrtle Beach in an effort
to get them to warm up to him.
Dan and Ludmila Hiers had lived a quiet life with no children in the Charleston bedroom community of Goose Creek. Dan made his living in construction and security after leaving the police force, while Ludmila worked in the shoe department at Sears. And police can find no reason why anyone would have wanted to kill her.
No one in our investigation ever had a crossword to say about Mila. She was viewed as a hard worker. She held a job. She was trying to get an education and was a good wife.
But a spouse is almost always questioned. The beautiful young wife of an ex-cop is shot dead in her sleep at their home in suburban Charleston, South Carolina.
Mila is found lying on the bed and is apparently dead due to a single gunshot wound to the back of the head.
But the hunt for the killer of Ludmila Hiers will find police waging a battle of wits with a sexually twisted and dangerously cunning chameleon.
He could blend in many different situations.
And investigators are desperate to get their man before other young women fall prey to his deadly charms.
He knows how to make them feel comfortable and